Oh, Kissay! Oh, I can't take it. We're up to the final game of Super Week. It's gone so quickly, guys. I just can't believe it. Welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. Of course, final game of the day, final game of the Super Week. And we've had a whole bunch of fun, a whole bunch of crazy results. Not only today, not only yesterday, but the whole damn week. And we might finish off with a crazy one as well, because it's going to be an interesting affair. Direwolves have looked ridiculously good all through that first group stage. And now they're starting to show a couple of cracks in their strategy, Tim. I want to hear what you have to say about this team.
I think Direwolves are slowly coming into their own. I think Sweeman's been a great addition. I think Poltron's been good, and Dante is definitely an up-and-coming AD carry who's shown a lot of carry potential so far this split.
Yeah.
We were talking just in the break earlier. Rakan, Shaco was a lot of fun to watch earlier in the week. I'm curious to see whether or not Poltron draws a Shaco ban today.
The respect, maybe, going to be brought out. Now, Mammoth as well. A relatively successful week for them. Mikru having some fun yesterday in mid lane, saving the day up against Peace and bringing it right back. Voice as well, going for 1v5 angles in that ADC role. Late game, man's been scaling. And you can't really fault what they've been doing because they've been getting some W's on the board, Skinny.
They certainly have. I mean, their schedule is kind of rough, right? Because they just run through the belly of the beast. Order, Chiefs, PGG, and then Peace. Now up against Direwolves here today, right? So they've gone up against some of the heavy hitters in the region. Very good game against PGG, right? Certainly put them behind at the first 15 minutes. A huge end-game result for them up against Peace, right? Fighting behind, 3 inhibitors. So they come into this one, I would say, with a lot of momentum and a big point to prove that, you know, what was, in my mind, a bit of a decisive victory for Direwolves to close out their last meeting. It shouldn't be anywhere near as close this time around.
Well, Mika has really been finding his feet, and last time the two teams went head-to-head, you can see Refury was still there in mid. Now, Direwolves took the cake last time, but I feel like Mammoth, their stonks have been rising. Direwolves have been coming down a little bit. We're in for a banger today, Carbon.
I think we could be, actually. I mean, even in this game here, you see Swimmins playing Akali again. Yesterday, we saw him get banned out and pick up that Orianna. Not have the greatest game. Not be as impactful as he usually is. And I feel like Mikru's been a good addition to this Mammoth roster. Adds a little bit of extra carry potential. Big fan of his Yone the other week. And they're keeping him in. Mammoth are also seeing something in him.
They certainly seem to be keeping him in. Now, I wonder if we'll ever see Refury again. The man. I miss him. I miss his, you know...
I miss the interviews like this. Hi, guys.
I need someone else in the Mammoth interviews to be, you know, picking up the slack with the waves. That's what I'm here for, all the fun, all the excitement. Look, we do have a special guest for an interview in just a little bit. But for now, look, let's keep talking this. The ports. Who are we looking at to come out on top today? Because RLG is that newer addition to Mammoth, and he's been doing relatively well every time we get to see him attempting some crazy things. Pulled the Amumu out, Amumu support the other day, and hit some really nasty ults. Unfortunately, he hit him at the wrong moments, hit the 5-man ults when there was no chance of a follow-up, hit the 1-man ults when there was a chance of a follow-up. So maybe, you know, some things to look at. Some material.
Was it he who played Wukong?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wukong support as well. I like that. I like a player who pushes boundaries. I feel like whatever Mammoth have been doing recently, they could do more of. They've been picking up some wins, and that's the best barometer for performance. That's true. Really, you know, we can talk about whatever we like, but the fact of the matter is Mammoth has started picking up some games, and I want to see more of that.
Very scary for Dials. Oh! Huh?
What was that?
Oh! I'm trying to summon our interview. Oh! There he is. Thank you. There he is. We got the dog, big dog.
What's up, Hanson?
How you doing? You ready to go into today's game?
Yeah, you look at me, man. We chilling.
Beautiful. You're looking ready. Now, look, I've got a special guest here today. Have you met Carbon before?
I haven't met Carbon.
I don't
only
think
on
so.
the roof.
Yeah, only on the roof.
Only on the roof.
Pretty often. Meet him pretty often.
I
don't mind playing with a big dog. I mind playing with a big dog.
Come on. Everyone loves a bit of the dog.
Everybody does. Are you going to play Rakan Shaco again? I'd really like it if you did.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Good.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you.
I think Poltron's just like, shut up! What are you doing? Stop leaking!
We're picking Shaco for sure. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, look, you've had a lot of success, in that support role as of late. You've been playing a lot of Bard. You've been playing like a lot of Bard when you get in there, and Rusty has been a huge fan of that. Now, are you a big Bard player in general, or are you sort of playing it because you're told to?
Nah, I pick it because I look good.
Yeah.
I might be a little ass at it, but I look good, so we just pick it.
Yeah, you pick it because it's fun, right? It's fun to play, that's why you pick it. You just enjoy picking up chimes. It's like a little mini game that only you get to do, while the rest of us have to play League.
Yeah, I'll let you guys do your thing. I'll just go over there.
Yeah. Magical journey. But I don't want you over there. I want to know, because it's International Kissing Day, who deserves a smooch on your team?
Oh wait, I can say Dante. He's 18 now. Yeah, we go Dante. We go Dante.
Picking up on the technicalities. Thank you, Bulldog.
Appreciate you clarifying that for us.
Clearing that one up real quick. Anyway, good luck in your game today. We'll see if you get that big dub.
2 See you guys later.
That was gold.
What a personality.
That's such a good moment for me when you bring up Bard for the purpose of him playing it, but the person next to you hates Bard the most. The absolute disdain that came from Kami. Yeah, you like just playing for chimes, don't you?
We
try and win.
He's like, oh, why did you pick Bard? Like, what are you picking him for? He's like, oh, I don't really know. I just kind of like it, I guess.
Sounds like a Bard player.
That's a really good reason to pick a champion.
Because I look good.
We should all do that.
Just pick champs that look good, and you get as good as Bulldog as again. Now look, Dare fan vote time. Get those points in, because this one could go either way. I'd say it's a coin flip unless Dire Wolves go back to that form we saw in the first round where they were just making everything look convincing. But Mammoth, they're here to prove something, to prove why they're here and look to make it towards playoffs. Now, get those Twitch points in. Tim actually said, put them all.
Well, that's if you've got any left after the last game. If you've got any left, feel free to put them on. If you don't, I'm sorry.
I feel like a lot of people, well, a little amount of people would have a lot of points because
someone's got points.
It was swinging last game. Now let's have a look here. We're actually split, so there's no one prediction buff. It's anyone's game, Skimmy. And why have you gone for Direwolves?
Just a big fan of Bulldog and Dante as a bot lane duo. I feel like they've been this very charismatic pairing, both in-game and out-of-game. So I sort of like what they do as a combination. And yeah, I just feel like
charisma has got the prediction.
Absolutely.
True.
I mean, they're Kiwis, so what's not to
win.
love, right? You know,
Kiwis
definitely make Australians better. And yeah, I mean, I'm just loving that as a whole. And I just love to see Simon play more assassins. Forget about the Orianna. If the other champions are banned away, give me a Zed, give me anything, a Talon, a Kiana.
Not an Orianna.
Just not an Orianna.
Not a 7%
Please.
Andy.
Yeah, we looked at that stat. It's not flattering, Simon. I looked up the numbers, 1 and 12. They don't want to see Orianna.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, look, I did actually get my predictions swayed by Charisma the other day as well, and it got me a big fatty dub on the board. That was when Kanga started their little tear this week. So I can't actually fault you for that one. Rusty, Mammoth.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick because I was trying to cheese the Mammoth prediction. I wanted to be the only one that did it.
Yeah.
And then I put my predictions in before Mac walked away, and then I could just hear our producer saying, Mac's ruined it.
Hey, they're doing well.
Now I have to justify it instead of just saying I've got the curse going.
Yep.
You know?
For me, it's all about Kale.
Yeah.
If Kale is up, I think Mammoth will win. Kale is not up, I think Mammoth will
You
lose.
don't think
let's
there's
have
like
a look,
Timo cheese?
Ladies and gentlemen, at what is up.
Self-respect.
Quickly while the conversation's still going. Champ Select's ready to bring it up. Let's have a look at what's gone on so far. It's time to jump on into game.
I mean, there's orange cheese for
Yeah,
what it's
sorry.
worth.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's your favourite cheese?
I like Gouda. That's my
Be a good
favourite.
Tasty. Just tasty.
I don't like cheese.
Basic.
Weird.
Was there anything cheesy going on here for the
Weird
first
champ.
All the Kale respect ban not there.
Kindred ban.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking about
Palm
this.
has been let through, which has been banned perma every single game.
The thing is, like, while there are a lot of targeted bans against the Direwolves, the question remains why. Like, why actually waste a ban on those champions? Is Kindred actually good? Right? Like, even if Poltron is good at the pick, is it good if you know it's coming?
I don't want to call Poltron a one-trick.
Yeah.
Because he's not, but he definitely plays a lot of Kindred.
Yeah.
So we've got Yuumi, and if this next pick is Kale, I might just wrap it up.
All right.
I'm just going to go out on a limb. Ooh, okay.
So, so this is my other thought. I favor Direwolves for mid lane specifically in this matchup because I don't think Mikru has a champion pull to punish Suman. And so it is a free Akali game, or it is a free assassin game from Suman.
This is a free Akali game.
Suman being the X factor of the Direwolves is probably the biggest threat on that team.
Yeah.
Being not kept in check, being left to just go wild, can just solo win them games. So we're looking at a potential 1v9 Silas steal the Corki Rockets angle. Huge team fight presence.
True.
You actually, I think it's 7 rockets you get when you steal Corki older Silas.
So you what's that, 2 big
ones?
ones?
So if you both hit level 6, he has 7 rockets when you have 1.
Nice.
That's about it.
Nice.
For
level
benefits.
6 all in, where he has to hit you with 7 rockets in a row.
Yeah.
We got the Rakan though, so he wasn't telling
Okay.
a whole
Okay.
half
So he wasn't
truth,
entirely
right?
lying. We could see maybe it's Wukong top or something.
True.
If they look Belveth, I feel like Mammoth are kind of
griefing.
Exodia.
But like in a good way.
Oh yeah, Belveth. I'm just gonna knock up Ezreal.
That makes a bit more sense, right?
I like Ezreal Corki.
Most played AD carry by a fair margin right now.
Yep. I think Ezreal's probably the best AD, I think.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, like, the only challenge with him is that you need to be really good.
Sure.
Ezreal's one of those champs that's simple to play but hard to master, and you can really tell damage output of someone who's extremely proficient.
Also takes it from Dante, who would go Ezreal Rakan in a heartbeat. So I'm a big fan of that from Mammoth. Ezreal Yumi works. Ezreal Rakan denied. They also banned the Kaiser away from Dante, one of his best, individually best champions.
Best champ, I think.
And realistically from here, the question will become, what do they choose to lock in for Dante? Is it just like default to Jhin, right? Like, because at this stage, I don't think he's played many ADCs that aren't Zeri, Jhin, or Ezreal.
Yeah.
And that's the last one left in that list.
Yep.
It's only waiting to see what else he can play, right?
Zaya, maybe? They've got the Rakan already. There's an angle.
Yeah, he could Zaya.
I guess, I mean, there's a few options. Aphelios. I know he has an Aphelios. Jinx is still on the table.
The thing is, he's so outranged already. So, like, what ADC do I lock in when I see an Ezreal Corki?
Does he have a Kalista?
That could be good. Kalista Rakan's a good combo.
I don't know if I've ever seen him play it, so we'll see. Kayle is taken away by the Direwolves. Mammoth answer with the Fiora. Direwolves decide, actually, we didn't like that you hovered Belveth.
Yes.
You won't be playing
I
that.
actually did just ban both hovers.
They just said, any hovers are banned straight away.
That's the strat.
There is no mental gap here.
The volley Belveth will get locked in.
That is not a great win percentage for the Volibear. Although, Mayfun has been pretty good on the Volibear.
Yeah.
In that Pentanet game, I think they ultimately ended up losing, but won a couple early skirmishes against Balkan, which is no mean feat.
First invade on red, right? Got the kill, got the early lead. Tristana actually going to come out here. Okay.
Okay.
Can have a pretty high kill threat in that 2v2 for sure. Ezreal, Rakan, Tristana both jumping forwards can absolutely get the Hail of Blades procs off. Especially in what is like a 1v2 lane almost for your Ezreal early.
I mean, this entire team from Direwolves now is just mobility.com, no? Like, it's just all about just jumping onto the Corki and Ezreal and saying, good luck. Like, you've just been DDoSed.
1-800-CALL-A-DASH. Yeah, a ton of mobility. And that's going to be really useful for engaging on the Ezreal Corki, who just want to poke. They want to siege the lane. Set up the poke. And
my
Paprise
God,
has just said...
Does he play this?
He definitely does play Riven, but not in like a box kind of way.
Yeah.
Not in like a Cody rival type of Riven, but
like
definitely serviceable.
Zoranus also plays Riven.
Yeah, he was the only one that's played the Riven so far.
He has, and Tian's had it banned away from him.
Yeah.
And I did not put Paprise in the list of Riven players in the LCO.
Yeah, Pappy's got combos, but you're not going to find him in a TikTok.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, he's got some animation cancels, but
he might hit you with an R cancel, but maybe not like the QE flash R.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm off.
Beauty.
Good luck.
Final thoughts? which comp do you prefer more?
He's muted.
Direwolves.
He said Direwolves. There you go.
He likes Direwolves. Producer, thank you
Short
very much.
and sweet. Direwolves is the comp that he prefers, Skimmy. I mean, if we quickly take stock of what Mammoth have put together in comparison, the Ezreal Corki composition has a whole lot of poke, right? It is long range, add the Yuumi into the mix, very difficult to kill all of those champions because they're such long range. But then they've added a volley bear in, which works because it is nice for diving. Once you've secured the poke, volley bear goes in, disables turrets, and is like the go button for the team.
Sure.
The Riven is the wild card, to say the least, because it can go in. With Flash, the dive threat with the volley bear is quite high, but neither champion builds resistances, they more so build health. And so they're kind of just health soak tanks or health sponges with low cooldowns. How does that work into the Dial's composition that can just straight up deal with you with damage? They have mobility to get away from a Riven, first of all, which is why Flash is like the most mandatory thing you've ever seen. Tristol just pushes them away, and they can stand and deliver quite nicely damage themselves.
Certainly can. And the question you raised very early on was what AD carry would we get here for Dante to try and match the range that Mammoth have put as their composition? Well, Tristana's going to come out. Another new AD carry for him to showcase his ability on. The Rakan, we love to see it. We love to see it just in general, really, as that most pick support. We'll get a chance to see what Bulldog looks like on it one more time. And the fact that, yeah, you raised a good point in the mid lane. From what we've seen of Meat Crew, how big is that champion pool? How much depth does he have to flex around with? We've seen the Yone. We've seen him also play a Tristana in the mid. But if it is going to be a default of a Corki, this will now be 3 Corki games in a row. And yeah, maybe not the best option for a Sylas to steal away, but still a fair few good options in general.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like overpowered ults to steal. We're no Swains, we're no Alistars or anything like that, but there's still some value to be seen in all of them. And Sylas, of course, having the added advantage of being fairly flexible in the way he wants to play. My concern here is that Dial's comp makes sense. I like what it wants to do. It can go forwards incredibly successfully with so much mobility. Mammoth, harder to execute, more flexible, but so much harder when it comes to it.
And will that be the burden to their undoing to try and get that all-important victory to force us head-to-head to become even at 1-1? It's the final day and the final game of Super Week. And I get the pleasure of talking with Alexis for the 2nd day in a row. Mate, welcome back. I mean, we had a cracker conversation last time. I guess my question then becomes, Mammoth have been looking really strong this Super Week. So how are you looking to really try and shut down all of that momentum?
I just say bringing it back to basics, more simplistic in a composition level. I think yesterday we definitely were testing out a new comp and a new style of playing for Direwolves. So bringing it back to the basics and playing what is true to us, and yeah, we should just be able to get the win and stop that momentum from continuing. Yeah,
I mean, we can obviously see that, I suppose, reflected in the mid lane. It seemed like a bit of a change up for Sim in particular, but going into this one up against Meat Crew, who's we're yet to see his full extent of the champion. But were you quite happy to say that it's a Sylas angle? Could we have even seen some more assassin gameplay there?
Oh, for sure. We have more answers to Corki than just Sylas, but no need to pull out too much too soon. Like there's still, we still have like half a split left and plus playoffs. So yeah, we have some things in the can for sure.
No doubt. And a quick final question before I let you go. Does it feel like this time the competition, your direct rivals in Kangro and Mammoth are a lot stronger than they were in Split 1 compared to Split 2?
Thankfully, yes. And I hope that it continues to go along that path because, as I said yesterday, like if everybody can be good, then hopefully whoever we send to Worlds just won't get dumpstered.
That's all we can ask for, right?
Amen.
Bit of O's pride.
Amen.
Well, Alexis, pleasure as always, mate. We're going to close out the week with a bang.
He preaches the good preach. He knows what he's saying. We just want O's to succeed. And I'm glad that everyone feels a similar way, regardless of if they're in a competitive team looking to win themselves or not. They just want the whole region to succeed. A rising tide lifts all boats. Very early into this one, one thing that is important to note is that there is going to be an Ignite advantage top lane. Zoranus running this Camille. Perhaps he doesn't outright win lane, especially early, wants the level 3 to be peak performance. Use the hookshot off walls. But Paprai is not having Ignite. We spoke about this. The almost necessity to have Flash if you want to exist against 5 million Dash champions. So it just means a bit less kill threat in lane for him, much more kill threat in lane for the Camille. Early movements here.
He's just doing it all over again, isn't he? This is exactly textbook stuff up against Pentanet, running it back here against Direwolves as well. Meat Crew at level 3 as a Corki is roaming. How often do you ever hear that in a sentence? Assuming's going to try and chuck out the chains to land that connect with the stun, but not going to find it. He's still going to run himself forward. As Mayfun will say, we'll try and take that blue buff away, but will I get out scot-free? That is the question. Paprai's in trouble. Can you dash across the wall? He can. Sumin, even though he's got literally 10% HP, it's still going to press on forward. It's still going to claim the buff, and it's going to punish it beautifully.
Bulldog shows up. Everyone's here from the Direwolves besides Dante, who resets back to base to get a control ward. Huge win from Direwolves, but I will just sit here and scratch my head and say, what on earth is a Corki at level 3 going to provide if a Stylus is there to match you? Wukong and Volibear can both skirmish rather on equal footing. They have a Camille with Ignite and level 3, so had access to every single ability. And the Riven can't provide anything that does more than a Camille. I can't help but feel like that's just not the play. That is just quite simply not the play. The attempt at a blue buff is okay, but even then, he's invading without the sweeper to deny vision, and they lose the smite fight. Everything went wrong.
Certainly is a bit of a disaster, but it doesn't look like it's going to dissuade Mayfine anytime soon. He's just picked up that bottom crab. He's now going to use the sweeper to have a quick check around and see what's happening and realize no one's down bot side, so it's a free gank in towards mid. Seaman getting excited and looking to try and take out Mikru. Mayfine still running him down. Doesn't have that flash. And now Seaman is just juking and jiving.
As Seaman stays on this side of the wall, Mayfine can't do a thing. Can't flash to cover him. In fact, just gives up and wants to body him out of mid lane. But Seaman should just be able to walk in here because he has the dash to get away. Mayfine not going to be fast enough to catch him. Doesn't make a difference. In fact, it is just going to be a wave forced in and cleared and a trade that goes favorably for Seaman. Teleport is there for Mikru. But I can't help but always laugh whenever I see a mana crystal first purchase from someone. Seaman comes back with literally just a bit of extra mana. What a spike, Skimmy.
It's huge.
What a spike.
One extra spell, mate.
Massive.
Huge power potential.
And it feels bad because 350 gold can't be anything else. Could be boots. But he's presumably got magical footwear if it wasn't boots.
Has the inspiration tree, so certainly a consideration. Voltron with that double buff is going to work straight towards this first Drake. Bot and mid, free to roam. Seaman going to go back to base one more time, and that's the first Drake secure.
Bulldog going to play some really nice deep wards here as well. Find himself a Mayfine. Won't be able to steal away the Gromp because the smite is still there. But we're running into this initial concern that I had and said this before we really saw the draft pan out, is that Seaman should have a pretty free time. Mikru seems to have been pretty solid when it comes to team fighting and his scaling relevance in the game. But to allow the assassin player, as we will call Seaman, to go uncontested and unchecked is to give Direwolves so much power in a game. Because he, to me, has been, I don't want to say most improved, that's not true. Rising star,
sure,
but he's also a returning player. Hard to actually quantify Seaman, but he's got the highest impact for sure in Direwolves.
Certainly taking a long break, right? His return from OPL days, back into the spotlight at the highest level here in Oceania. Even if he has stuck to a select handful of champions, they've been very exciting to watch and certainly high energy in terms of its kill performance.
Hard forcing this wave in is going to be the side of Direwolves. Ali G just staunching as a cat. It was completely irrelevant to the game, but Mikru did pick up the best skin on Corki possible this game. Just throwing that one out there. There is no better skin.
What did you call it before? With the zoom in before?
Fluffy butt.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's Corgi. All Corgis have a fluffy butt.
Corgi. Bit of a tongue twister if I've ever heard one.
You've seen me at A-Ram. You can jiggle it with the dance. It's goated.
Emote meta.
That's the league law that we need. Kitty's knowledge? Irrelevant.
We don't care, Shurima this and all the rest. Nah, it doesn't matter. Tell you what though, Bulldog has been very adventurous in his roams all game long. First kill went his way. Now he's up here for a flash dash in, but Paprise is clean with it. Wind slash as he disengages away. Copped an Ignite. If that grand entrance was on, he was dead.
In a sense, it is just a summoner trade. Ignite for the flash. Ignite obviously going to be a lot lower cooldown. Mayfine going to be in the area with Ali G. And Yumi has said, Bulldog is roaming too much. Off we go, Taxi. He wants to bring him to the area. They might ward this bush and find themselves someone's human. I'm surprised he didn't dash over that wall.
I'm surprised as well. I thought he really would have taken those chains. Had a crack at it.
He's just that kind of gamer.
Just being a bit kind.
Yeah, he was being quite nice. Didn't know where anyone was, to be fair. Could be inting, and his team's going to go for the objective here anyway with the Herald. Sometimes the best course of action is no action, and that is what he is going to do, while Direwolves will secure objectives pretty much for free. Ezreal Ultimate only to confirm that it's still being done. Nice attempt, really, in top lane is the catalyst for all of this, and Bulldog has always really felt like the catalyst for every early map movement from Dials. With Poltron and Bulldog, the unpredictability of this support player for their team really does wonders.
They've certainly got a very strong partnership emerging as these weeks go by, allowing him to find those initiations and to lock down those key targets to try and drive home that idea that we saw very early on, right? That they had a big ideology of pick-focus comps. The reason why we saw a lot of Jin also coming out of Dante as well.
Papraz has got hops, man. Watching the Riven mechanics is decent.
Okay.
Hasn't done anything to command being like, wow, that's an absolute Riven monster, but the fact that he hasn't failed means that he's good at Riven.
Is there a Riven license, much like an Ezreal?
I suppose. It's different, though. We'll hold that.
It certainly is different, as Paprise is going to be hoping that he is built different to try and 1v2 this situation. He's dashed away, but the shield's nowhere near enough. 2 bruises take him down.
Nothing he can do there. Spells were used to trade. Just gets baited into the play and very nicely done by Poltron. I feel like in Mammoth's mind, that was incredibly mistimed by Poltron because they do the Herald, they reset, he comes back top lane. Confusing, to say the least, in terms of Poltron's positioning. It makes no sense. All of his bot camps should be up, and so Mayfun's going to go for those and take them away. And that's the logical transaction here by Mammoth, but absolutely just breaks Paprise's brain and could come back top lane. There is 3 people here. Paprise needs to know that mid is missing. They've been missing pinged.
He's held his TP
He puts
back.
his face in.
He face checks the brush and realizes why on earth is everybody here? It's a 3-man collapse! Please, give me a chance to live, and now Paprise is 0-2.
That is standard cheese strat in solo queue. You just repeat offend the lane that has just been killed. Paprise not teleporting means that he'll have it, but good lord, if he teleports back top lane and there was 3 people there, would you be tilted out of your mind?
Money in the turret to
Ah,
he's
he's been juked.
No. Come on, Shelly. Focus up. Hit the turret. Duenas will guarantee that those 2 plates will remain, so the headbutt will guarantee the first turret of the game. Mayfun, much to your point before, right, has been putting in some good work of stealing all the bot half farm. At least taking a dragon for their own.
The Drake's nice to have, but of course it is going to be a very nice turret top lane for Direwolves. Not going to get the second charge. Package is there for Mikru, so perhaps that is the major deterrent in where they were going to play the rest of that one out. Either way, Mammoth, it is fair to note here that they want to scale as a composition for sure, right? They want a couple of items on pretty much everybody. The more items Riven gets, the more ability haste she gets, and the more she can cycle ridiculous combos and cooldowns back to back to back. And the skirmishing becomes absolutely monstrous. However, a 2-0 Camille this early in is still a force to be reckoned with and trades in a faster one-hit punch type of combo. Voice being baited in.
Oh, he's got to be careful here. Dante jumps him through with the rocket jump. The final chapter roots every single member in that ganking party. And that's enough to prevent Direwolves getting any more.
Very difficult to kill an Ezreal and a Yuumi with all of the summoners there. In fact, Exhaust is still available for LEG if Direwolves aren't careful.
Dante is going to just cop an exhaust and just wait it out because Mayfun was not going to burn the flash to guarantee that stun. Very lucky to hold double stuns.
It is interesting. LEG definitely wanting to fight. Voice very much happy to entertain it, but it seems like has been kept at bay just by Wukong staying in the area. So Mammoth not willing to take any unnecessary risks. Like highlighted, they are happy getting items. Ezreal wants 2 items to be completed. Corki just wants to get as many as he possibly can. He's happy with every extra purchase that he makes. And we can look at Direwolves comp and say like, okay, Triss scales. I feel like I say this every time, but the scaling isn't the same as other hyper carry champions. You need to be able to freely hit, and the range that you get isn't game winning. You are still a jump, reset, close range combo type of ADC. You're not a Jinx that sits 225 extra range away.
Looking for the fight on towards Zoranis, who just turns around with a Hexagon ultimatum, cops a lot of damage in that response.
Oh.
Mikru flash forward and missed the rocket. And that is so unfortunate, and Poltron, well, he'll punish with conviction as he sits on a double kill right now. Paprise entertaining the idea of looking for more, especially now that LEG is there to support him. Direwolves can just disengage away to safety.
Tristana going to go straight back towards bot lane now. The fact that Mammoth have shown both Voice and LEG mid means that some turret plates are absolutely screaming to Dante saying, come and get me. And they're not going to get anything back. It is 6-0 in kills. It is a 4,000 gold lead as the scoreline is concerned. Direwolves very happy with the state of affairs in this game. You can see the stats here for Wukong. Poltron actually is one of those players who we highlighted at the very start of the split. And we said, what can he play? We know that his most picked champion is Kindred. We know that he can default to a volley bear. But like, where do we go from someone that we've only seen play Shaco in competitive league? But his Wukong was mechanically extremely good from the first game that we watched. And it seemed like he very easily slotted into the role.
Certainly is. He's shown us a fair bit of champion pool with the volley bear, with the Nocturne as well, but we're not talking about that right now, but we are talking about him as the individual as he cyclones on through and knocks him down for kill number 4. Bulldog is there, he's got the quickness, he's got the charm, and that's a 5.
And Mayfan, feeling almost in solidarity, wants to die with his top laner. Doesn't just abandon him, does the Krugs next to his top laner as he dies, and Peprise kind of watches the follow-on effect there. The Ripple becomes a storm, and they get 2 free kills for it. They're not going to go for a turret or anything, but Human is going to be able to defend any kind of trade from Mammoth on the bottom side of the map, so they continue to just win more.
Yeah, this is the struggle, right, for Mammoth right now, is they're struggling to try and find the way to answer back to all these beautiful trades, or even just these beautiful moments that Direwolves have been able to muster up so early on. 15 minutes up by 6k. Very comfortable position for them as they look to now find their second Herald back-to-back.
And Direwolves do not play like Peace in terms of macro and as a team. They tend to be much more decisive as a 5-man unit, and when they're ahead, they do seem to be very good at closing games out with no real issues. Very limited mistakes. Yesterday's game is the reason I bring up Peace, because Mammoth were able to just kind of wait for the opportunity that seems to inevitably arise, and they caught the sitter. So they do get themselves into a scaling game.
Yeah, Seeming going to look to try and hit them back with some of their own medicine as we just chuck out final chapters after final
everywhere.
chapters. We're just at a book club right now. Mayfun has ult, has flash, has challenging smite, but just can't find the target he needs. Even more so now deterred by the fact that Zoranus has TP'd in. And nothing comes of it.
Mayfun doesn't know what he wants. He ults in, then runs away without even hitting a stun. Can't make his mind up. It's very confusing stuff here from the jungler of Mammoth, but at the same time, Direwolves enact the play. Mammoth are able to disengage. No one loses their life. A teleport in still means objectives are free. And once again, this time, the only positive trade is that they force a teleport from Zoranus, and Riven is free farming.
Bulldog with the charm. No, it's been stolen away! He tried to charm Mayfun so he couldn't smite still, but that's exactly what he's done. Direwolves now angry, looking to try and win the fight. Bulldog no mana and now no health. He's going to fall on down though as Paprise gets double killed. As the Camilla's now 4-0 and the top half of Direwolves is 9-0 combined.
I mean, Direwolves absolutely just putting on a clinic for the top side of the map. Really odd decision, to be perfectly honest, by Mammoth to teleport their 0-4 Riven in, or 0-3 Riven into the fight. Gets a kill, yeah, but was farming for free tops. They have bounties for the turret if they wanted to. It would have been like 3 free waves. Zero emphasis put towards that. You can see the current wave state at the point that this happens. Just push top. Just push top, just make money. Bulldog tries to deter Mayfun from going into the fight, but just ring around the rosy, just runs his way in, gets the smite. Fight never really felt like it was winning from Mammoth at all. Nicely done by LAG to dodge the chains. But Riven going in while the rest of the team's running, it's still very, very muddled and confusing.
Disjointed and frustrated. The gold leads continues to be 6k in favor of Direwolves.
Bit of Mr. Potato Head Gaming.
Why not? Total gold though. It's all things pretty for the top half of the draft as we just mentioned, but it's no more so than for Zoranus here. 17 minutes in, 2 items complete as a Camille. This is his playground.
Mikru finally actually converts the Mana Mune into Muramana, so a bit of extra damage coming out of the Corki, level 12. 12 out of 16 on the I do a lot of damage clock. Also secures every single one of those Krugs and Kruglets. I don't know what they're officially called. Probably just still Krugs.
Kruglet.
I like Kruglets. It makes sense.
Krug nuggets?
Krug nuggies.
Why not?
We've got chicken nuggets for Raptors.
We've got all the different types of meat.
Gromp is just mystery meat.
Sure. The lucky dip. Mayfun forced to ult away, very defensive as the final chapter goes out. Ali G posturing the idea of maybe let's just try and see something here. Voice Arcane shifting in just to lay down a little bit of poke from afar. But it's always defensive, always reactive.
Yeah. And just so much pressure from Direwolves. Their vision control starting to really cement itself around the red buff. Secure themselves a very free objective there. Mayfun just ulting away off cooldown here. Ulting in, if he does, is just going to net himself a death. Really struggling 0-3 scorelines between both jungle and mid. Voice just trying to hang on, right? Holding on by a thread. He's still farming, but is really relying on this game just going as far as possible. And I don't think we are at any point in this game where Yuumi and Volibear are going to be a dangerous duo. In other games they could be, not this one.
Certainly not. It's missed the mark. And I guess the catalyst once again all comes down to that initial invade towards the enemy blue. They got punished exceedingly well. The inside track, the Zonesis to roam on down, connect to kill with an ignite. Ultron picks up spoils as well.
Yeah.
And from that moment onwards, they've just not stopped. Go, go, go.
And this is one of the pitfalls of the Yuumi pick, is that you don't get to do what Rakan does, which is sit outside of the lane and be relevant. You need to sit with a jungler or an AD carry. And Corki wants experience solo. So if you're trying to protect the Corki, you have to be with Mayfun and both have to be there to protect. It can't just be one of you placing vision. Yuumi by herself is a Yuumi that dies.
Him in there with the Volibear ult stolen away. They can use that to disable the structure or just to gap close a little bit more. If Silas really needed any more mobility at this point. 20 minutes on the dot and Baron is soon to spawn. Direwolves has spent what feels like an eternity hanging around here at the red side.
Just admiring the APM of the Yuumi.
True. I can see myself in it right now.
Oh, watch out, hopped off for no reason, back on. Getting crazy out here. Just farming again. I don't think that Mammoth are pressured other than the Baron being done to do anything crazy. They just want to control some vision. It's an odd ward placed by Direwolves there right next to the bush that Mammoth are at. It's just going to get cleared the second a sweeper or control ward is there. Not even good for temporary vision. Really doesn't provide too much. It's just safer to place. Drake going to be free. You would have to expect Drake's free. I don't think Mammoth want to throw away the rest of this game for the Drake while they're still on the way to scaling. But what they do have is Voice is about to tick over to Muramana. 2 items are now done for Mikro and he's got the package. In terms of spikes, they're actually spiking on time with the carries of their respective opponents here, if not faster than Direwolves. Human doesn't have 2 items. Mikro does. He's 60 CS down in mid lane. Human having a bit of a struggle street here, performance.
Direwolves are still going to contest this one though. A 2-man Everfrost into a 2-man Charm. Bulldog starts it off. And Suman there to back things up. The Drake, they've forgotten about it. Mammoth have been completely soned away. Mikru still with the package, goes in a little bit too late. Only Dante standing on that fire and getting burned as the Trash Shot Barrage connects and takes him away off screen. Mammoth still hunting for more, wanting kills. Voice is low, Suman is dead. And Ali G picks it up.
Because the Yuumi needs to get that kill. They'll find themselves a massive teamfight victory here. Spoke about the items. They were basically on equal footing. Direwolves head in 2 different places of very much 2 minds when it came to that Drake. They'll secure the objective. Zoranus tries to 1v9. And the fact that Voice survives means it was a critical failure. Mammoth will win the team fight while they lose the Drake. It doesn't matter. They've got their sights set on Baron here. I do think this should just be theirs, but there's pings going towards teleports. Human is up in 5 seconds. Direwolves want to play the long game.
Ultron's on his way, but the Baron's already gone. That's a huge objective bounty, as well as the buff being denied away from the team still with the gold lead. Direwolves now looking to try and stop all these recalls. They've stopped a couple. Some have already gone back to base. There is no Ezreal. There is no bot lane of Mammoth.
They'll get out.
But they're gone.
Perfectly fine. They will get themselves out. Baron secured. No casualties seen. Flash from a jungler. Who cares? He's secured the Baron buff. Back to a 2,000 gold difference here. And a 504 Wukong isn't necessarily enough to 1v9 a game. And we do have to talk about the quiet achieving that has come across from the farming of Mammoth. Paprise really wants to die for that cannon.
Yeah, he's on for the kill here. Mikru has no mana, so really it never was a fair fight to even start off with.
But he legitimately dies for a cannon, Skimmy, instead of just walking away. I'm sure you can write worth it all, chat. You know, most top laners in the world right now watching this game are like, I get it. I've been there. We've all been there.
Fair enough. It's worth.
Not when you've just got Baron, though.
Certainly not. But I also won't mind. Another Baron denied. Another kill found in the side lane. Another chance for this very fed Camille to continue to spread her wings and showcase just how strong she is. Mayfan's going to try and do something about it though. Final chapter, Chem Tank and speed like you would not believe. Running him down. It's going to be a 1v2 to start off with, but Mikru wants to try and pick up that kill, and that he will do. A charm locks down Voice on the flank, but he's got away. Is he going to burn to the Ignite? No, a clutch shield comes across. Suman still with the stolen bear. He can't use the ultimate. It's just despair as he's forced to flash away.
Both top laners want to die for cannons. Both of them just want to overextend themselves, get ganked and die for no good reason. Direwolves this time around, however, they double down on trying to protect their top laner. Mammoth with way too many people in the area, way too many reinforcements there. Poltron has a cracker taken out. Voice sits in the bush. It's nice in idea, and in principle it makes sense, but he was kind of just overextended from the moment he tried, and once again, Voice doesn't die. Ezreal is a slippery champion. Ezreal is very hard to kill. Yuumi with the heals there will save him. Mammoth have overstayed their welcome, but they have got Baron recalls. Barb Paprise, who is absolutely in trouble if they continue to chase. But a lot of mobility means he'll be okay. We're back to even almost.
Almost, absolutely. What was a 6 to soon be 7 and far more. K Gold lead in favor of Direwolves has been completely halved. Scary prospect, right? Because this is when you start to wonder, is the dream on? Are we on for another late game resurgence where level 16 starts to come to the equation? And where Mikru can look to try and emulate their MVP performance up against Peace.
I think we really have been seeing Suman struggling to find a wave to farm. Has been grouping with the team a fair amount, has been roaming with Poltron to side lanes, which is something you're used to seeing from him, but found himself pretty much consistently 50 CS down now, where Mikru's been given more resources. It feels like Direwolves has said Dante will 1v9. Let's give him everything we possibly can in the way of CS and farm. He's ahead of the clock. He's had permanently a wave in mid lane to farm. But Suman's suffering means that he's just a utility mage now, and in that vein, their magic damage is now behind. Armor becomes easier to purchase, and suddenly things like the Death's Dance as the first item from Paprise for a defensive item has more value.
Certainly a worthwhile point.
Could be a Frozen Heart Ezreal, right? Like,
why not?
The value that would be there if Silas is behind.
Rolls Paprise, not content with his KDA now being 2 and 5. Everfrost sidestepped out of, but look at the Q2 charge from Camille. The true damage, and his health bar just snapped. Mammoth going to answer back in the mid lane as a 4-man squad. There's no objective bounties anymore. The gold lead is ever too close, but Direwolves will answer back and trade even.
And Mammoth will just concede that they lost that situation. They will go back to base. Paprise being absolutely targeted. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, they do not want this Riven to exist. They want him to have a terrible time. Third Drake of the game for Direwolves when they secure this one, unless an Ezreal ultimate was very close. Doesn't snipe it away. Mammoth, no need to fight. It doesn't matter too much that the Riven dies. That's the next Drake that it matters. Mayfun.
Yo, Mayfun just doesn't exist. He's going to ult away but die mid-air. Poltron really is dominating. A flawless game so far from the Direwolves jungler. 6-0. Looking at Bulldog right now on the flank. He's got the ult charmed. He's ready to jump in. Knocks up 2. Dante in trouble, flashing away. Utilizing his range right now. Level 15. So packs a bit of a punch. He's on towards Paprise, who flashes forward, busts the shot away. It wasn't enough to protect him.
Voice has 3 kills.
Has found 2. Now he's found 3. He's keen to find more. Another flash away. He's on a quad. He's hunting for it. He wants to end the perfect KDO of Wukong, but he's just a little bit quick to run away.
And there are just no pentas allowed at the LCO. You take the quad, you run away with it. The flash from Voice was so bloody unnecessary, Skimmy. Now he doesn't have it for the next 5 minutes, but just wanted the penta so desperately. They'll push mid lane, they'll get themselves most likely this turret. I don't know if they'll be able to press beyond the inner. You can see the damage dealt in that last fight, and it really was just a clinic from Voice. Direwolves had a solid engage, but they engaged without a Wukong ultimate, and that is a big thing if you see a replay, to acknowledge that who's going to follow through with Bulldog once this starts, right? That's the R1 done. Dash forwards from Dante. Bulldog hits a sick knockup, but Poltron is irrelevant. He's done his job before the fight actually gets started. Mikru survives. Voice completely untouched, able to E forwards. That's perfect from him. And like we mentioned, Suman has an impact, but is not game-winning strong at all, and doesn't actually command threat.
But Ezreal certainly did. And very close to landing that Mystic shot. Cyril's Grudge is there. That slow might have been all it took to try and give our first pentakill of this second split this year. Mikaru package with a cat on his head and ready to go. Level 16 is there. We've hit the promised land.
The cat-dog duo. It's pretty dangerous at level 16 for sure. Big rocket ready to be used. I would expect LEG to jump onto Mikaru to throw that one out. It'd be a good poke, but they're not going to poke. Why use the Corki Ezreal comp to poke when you can hit a Baron? Let's see how this pans out, because Direwolves want the hard engage, but Corki package is something that could equalize it.
Jonas has TP, but he chose to run all the way from the bot side lane.
Mammoth almost baiting the fight, almost forcing the use of the Corki package. But they're getting chunked by humans stealing away the Corki ult.
Shot rush, not going to land onto anybody. The Baron completely resets now.
And they're just going mid.
The Corki with a package has to reset.
And it's gone. The package is gone. So has teleport, but is going to go back to base. Should be able to defend the mid lane inhibitor turret. We will see. Mayfun staying in the area. Mammoth don't have a tank that sits there and permanently soaks Baron. It doesn't feel great to be the volley bear just yet. LEG also running deceptively low on mana.
Blast cone in, looking for Dante. Nice buffer with the rocket jump across the water. Safety. Polytron jumps in with a master cyclone onto two. Voice untouched. Both Eddie carries across one another, but who can do the most damage right now? Neva untouched, Neva falling down, but in goes Dante. Rocket jumps on his head, stunned, an explosive shot, and explodes to give him a shutdown.
And Zoranus is still pushing mid lane with a dead Corki there. Mammoth had set themselves up to succeed time after time. And then all in a single moment, just the absolute capitulation of the roster and their hopes and dreams in this game almost completely removed. This should just be GG.
For just a second, you believe there is a Mammoth fan that they had that comeback potential like they've done all Super Week. It looks so primed and ready to go, but in a 4v5 situation, Direwolves answer back. Direwolves Dante nearly dying to the turret, but they won't die in this game as they beat out Mammoth to go 2-0.
The crazy thing here is that was winnable for Mammoth. That is the most crazy thing with looking at how that game started. Direwolves with control of bottom, with control of top lane. They ganked Paprise's absolute face-off. It was a nightmare for the Riven. Yet somehow Mammoth found a way to bring it back, because these team fight successes that they're finding are just proving to be too useful for them, and they constantly draft for scaling. Feels like Mammoth are doing what Gravitas wish they could.
Certainly. I mean, they certainly have that X factor at moments, right? When Voice is popping off, potentially getting a pentakill, when Mikaru's getting a little bit cheeky at times with the rockets.
Very exciting that was.
Yeah. And we were thinking as well, look, you mentioned he used that flash to try to greed for the penta, and then in that final fight, he didn't have the flash. Couldn't get around as safely, you know. Tried to get the damage out, but was just a little bit too far. Pappy as well, pretty unlucky not to hit the combo. So there were moments.
All there.
Yeah, it was like, I feel like they stayed on the Baron for too long and it cost them too much health, right? Like, Direwolves, their macro game still on point. Even when they did start to lose those fights, they knew what they had to do to stay in the game.
Which is
and then punished Mammoth perfectly, right?
Like Zoranus played a really strong game, as did Poltron, the two of them. They found a lot of picks early, mid, and late game. You've got another example here. You know, you just ease in, Poltron's ready to follow up. Not really much the River can do in this scenario. I mean, he could sack the cannon, I guess.
Yeah, he could.
But you know, once he's caught, he's caught. And Paprise, I mean, he was scaling towards the end of that game. And I think he had, you know, one or two highlights in the team fights, but got caught way too many times in the side lane just before objective started. Then we had this team fight, which was cute, but I feel like Dante, he heard the call to go and just pulled the trigger, not waiting for Bulldog to actually get in range to use his ulti W combo, and took 3/4 of his health, which opened up this comeback opportunity for Mammoth. And when you pick scaling every game, you know, mistakes like these are going to cost you.
Man, so many games have been wetting my whistle that Penta's right there. Just there.
But this fight just shouldn't happen, like, to be completely honest. How is a Corki and a Camille fighting in the red buff?
Well, he's just found, he just waited. He's just found Corki rotating.
Yeah, but there's a teleport. Like, Corki could teleport instead of walking through, like, if you want to group to the fight. Like, for me, the idea was okay in concept from Mammoth. They wanted to force the fight, but aren't they just trying to force into a team that wants to do that? You know, it kind of invites their comp to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand, you know, when you have the package, when you have your item spikes, when you've just won a team fight, you know, the gold lead was quite small. I can see why that is a tempting option. You know, force them to come to us, hit him with a poke. But I mean, one of the key issues was they actually weren't really landing that much.
No.
They weren't landing the rockets. Ezreal wasn't really landing the Qs. And if you don't, you find yourself in a scenario where actually they've just kind of walked through all your poke. And now you're tanking Baron and they're standing in front of you and they're playing Wukong.
Yeah.
Well, this is literally what you guys were talking about in draft, right? You know, it's a harder to execute composition from Mammoth, and that's exactly why. If you're not hitting those skill shots, you're not dishing out as much damage, you're not as threatening, and you just don't engage, you don't get as much value from those champs as you would have liked. And that might be something that can haunt Mammoth, but something that, look, they'll be able to go and construct on going into the next weeks. They've had a good week here. Look, 2-1 is more than sort of what we would have given them when you look at the games they had on paper, right?
Yep, definitely. And they could have won that one as well. Obviously, they griefed early game. Mayfarn invading with 2 scaling solo laners. Don't really know what that's about, but it feels like they found an identity and they are improving. They've picked up some wins, but more than that, the gameplay looks better.
It certainly does. And look, speaking of better, just better. In the jungle, big man, Monkey King, bring him in. We got Poltron. Again, just tearing it up in the jungle. Every time you touch Wukong, crazy things happen, man.
Yeah, Wukong's for sure a strong character. One of my best, in fact. But yeah, overall happy with the win. Messy game, but can't complain too much with the win.
You'll take him. Do you think it's just the character, or do you think you feel like Wukong's one of your better picks as well?
I'd say Wukong would be probably a top 3, top 4 pick for me. Not my best champion, but overall, I've had a lot of success on it in solo queue and obviously on stage. And I think the win rate on Wukong, even this week, in the LCO is probably, 70-75% overall. But
yeah, quite high, I think. It's always nice, though, when comfort and meta sort of cross over.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? Now, I did see those respect bans eventually coming through. You know, you left Kale open for that first phase of the draft. I was thinking, oh, that's a little bit dangerous, but you got the ban through in that second phase as well as the Belveth. Were you going to plan to ban Belveth, tongue twisting? Anyway, were you looking to ban the Belveth? Or was it just because you saw it hovered that you took the bait and said, oh, they're going to play that?
Well, we were ready to play into Belveth that game, and in our minds at least, Mammoth had they had 2 picks on their third, or their R3. They could either take the Ezreal, which they did, which is a good pick for them, or they could take Belveth. But obviously, if they take Belveth, we're happy with that. We'll play into it, and then we would have most likely just banned the Ezreal away from them, had a better time bot, removed their possible pairings with the Yuumi. But yeah, we would have banned the Belveth either way, even if they didn't hover it.
Well, there you go.
So,
now, look,
there you
quickly, before we let you go, Poltron, it is, of course, International Kissing Day. Who would you smooch on the team if you could?
On the team?
Yeah.
I mean, all the boys on the team, Hamson Devils, would kiss any of them, but, you know, you 4 blokes on the couch today. That's a different story. Like, getting on that one, you know. So a lot of options if you add yourselves in. But if I had to choose one on the team, I'd probably say, you know, Zorenis. He's got nice plushish lips, you know, very thick, juicy.
How's that for a
I don't
compliment?
know where I was going with that one, but yeah, I'll give it to him. I'll give that one
Shouts out to Zorenis' juicy lips.
Shout out to his juicy lips. And we'll leave the interview there. I think that's a perfect way to end the day. End the Super Week. See you later, Poltron.
Thanks for having me.
Always good to chat to him. Well,
old Juicy Lips in top lane.
I think that's his new nickname. Oh, Juicy Lips with the carry.
I think
Skimmy, you got to throw that one in.
I need to find a way to integrate that for sure.
All right. Dare MVP discussion time. Who takes the cake from Direwolves there?
I reckon it was either one of those lads in the top half of the draft. Yeah, either Zorenis or Poltron for me. They had the most impact, I felt.
Bulldog as well, though. Like,
Bulldog
was pointing out that he was a part of the top ganks.
He was.
Like, he was a major part of this, like the flash being used by the Riven, which enables the Wukong to follow through.
There can only be one.
For me, top laners, when they top damage, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
I think, I think it maybe got missed in the cast. We didn't really talk about it much during the replays, but the Corki getting picked by Camille at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
That's the difference between just winning that Baron team fight and then having to continue to play against this scaling comp and actually just ending the game in one go. So I thought Zorenis played really well.
Yeah,
Zorenis, happy?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Their MVP for the final day, final game of Super Week is Zorenis. That looks like someone else's arm. Is that someone else's arm? Quickly, tell me.
No.
I don't think so.
No?
I'm pretty sure that's his arm.
Does
It
that
looks
not look
attached
like
to
someone
his
else's
shoulder.
arm? It
No.
looks like someone else's
I
arm.
remember him
Why?
going to media day.
I don't know. Maybe because I can't see the full sleeve. Anyway, my
He's just
mind's
been
blown. 5, 3, and 7. What a great
How many arms
performance
do you
from
stare
him.
at, Mac?
Where's his elbow?
I mean, it was a
throw
really
me off.
strong performance, right? I mean, he just so accelerated. I think I mentioned, like, what, 17 minutes in, 2 items complete on a Camille. Like, what more do you want? I mean,
Yeah, dirty.
absolute dream scenario. So, put the Riven in the bin and put himself on top.
Well, we got a play of the day as well. Any guesses for which play it was?
Nah.
Nah? There was a game with a
Nah.
Nah in there, wasn't there? Was there one game with
Yeah,
Nah?
I think Lived played Nah, I think.
Yeah, was it Nah?
I don't think it was, no.
Can't think of a fight.
I'm just going for the quadra kill because we
My
never get
head's empty.
pentas.
It's a
I'm just going to go with the most
We had
cop-out
two quadras
recency
today.
bias.
We had the Viego Quadra from
did.
Arthur, and we had the
True.
Quadra from Voice on the Ezreal there.
We
Yep,
did.
yep, yep, yep.
We'll give him honourable mentions because it's neither of those. It
Oh.
actually was Big Man Fido with a big play in mid, keeping himself alive, getting a big lead, big
Scraped
win
it
coming
out.
through for Kanga. Now watch this again. He's been left all on his own in a 1-on-2, which turns into a 1-on-3 real quick. Man's tanking
Oh,
tower
this,
shots, man tanking
yes.
everything. Somehow gets the kill and gets out on what would have been, what's that say, 50 HP. Ridiculous scenes here, Tim.
Yeah. The confidence required to walk up and double cage on a packaged Corki, drop the load, and then somehow also live. Like, it's one thing to have the confidence to be like, okay, he's burned the package and he's traded 1-for-1, whatever. But he's just like, nah, actually, I'm going to live also.
Nah,
Actually,
Nah.
because he could
that's
have
a fire
flashed.
call.
He could have
Nah.
flashed at any time.
Yeah, he just knew. He's just an
Giga Chad.
expert of the champ.
I
He's
love
just
that.
a Chad. Giga Chad in the Twitch chat, please. For
Giga
Fido.
Chat. Bloody
Because I
gameplay.
thought that was crazy.
It was.
That's one that sticks with you. You know,
Crazy.
quadra kills, we get them all the time.
We actually do.
1 HP Vega 1v3s, not so often.
Impossible challenge.
1v3s, get a kill, get out, survive, and live to tell the tale. But that's it for Super Week. It's time to have a look at the leaderboard and see where all the teams are currently sitting. And, sitting pretty at top there. 11-0. Chiefs still doing it. And Direwolves with that win escape the fate of a 4-way tie at the end
Honestly,
of Super
wanted
Week.
Mammoth to win just for that tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have
yeah.
been so close to. We're getting close to a 6-way tie territory.
Well,
But
there's
not
enough.
this
There's
time.
at least a 3-way tie there for third now. Peace, PGG, and Order all on 6-5. Almost even score lines, which is something I don't think anyone was expecting. I keep saying that, but every time things happen, you know,
still
there's
don't
still
expect
these
it.
upsets. You're still just not expecting. You're like, when's it going to change? When are the teams that you expect to perform going to perform better? Kanga's just one win behind all those 3 teams as well.
And they're one win behind their best record of last split, right? The fact that they went 6-15 in split 1, they look way stronger than that before. Endless games still to go. Only halfway through the split, right? So you're thinking they're going to smash that record. You'd imagine Mammoth only 2 wins away from matching their split 1 record as well. Thinking they're very much on course for doing the same. So it almost continues the trend, much like we saw last year as well. Split 1 to 2, these lower half teams definitely do come out the gate swinging. And if the conversation is from the players and from the coaches we're developing, it tends to be true.
I feel like if we did another power ranking and Rusty had to put his mind the gap somewhere, it would just be under Chiefs.
Yeah, it's true. I can think of 2 spots back where I might put it.
Yeah, very true. But look, let's have a look at next week's games. What we're going to be feasting on Monday of week 6. 6 p.m, Gravitas up against PGG. We'll see if Grav could bounce back off of 11 losses. 7 p.m, Peace and Chiefs. Could be interesting, depending on which piece we get to see. They finally got another W today.
They could all be bangers.
They could.
Yeah, they could all be bangers. Direwolves and Order, again, one which you never know which way that's going to go. Can Order catch up to Direwolves? Find out then. And then Mammoth and Kanga, these 2 teams, which you would have written off 2 weeks ago, but now they're all bouncing back, hitting heavy. And they get to go head-to-head to see who's looking better. I'm loving all these games. I feel, so this is where things get tasty, right? Is during these rounds, I feel like the end of the schedule for the last, 4 days of games is when you see all the close teams start to play and you get these real banger days.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
so much to look forward to.
I think you know, we are sort of heading into that mid-season, and you can sometimes get a bit of mid-season fatigue. There are so many games on. You've been watching for so many weeks already.
Yeah.
You kind of lose track of what's going on. But every game matters at the moment. Every game is having real implications for the ladder. And I think for the teams who are able to maintain a high level of performance, who don't get complacent or lose focus in the middle part of this season, there are going to be some teams who maybe should be in playoffs, who maybe don't make playoffs.
Yeah, I
Looking
feel
at
like
this ladder.
that is definitely a possibility, and it's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Carbon, are you going home or are you staying here for next week?
I'm going home, I think.
I think.
I think
We'll see whether or not they let me on the plane.
There's an empty floor over there. We could get a mattress. You know, it was lovely having you on.
Push these
I'd
couches
love
together.
to have you on again.
Yep.
But we might actually have Kitty back next week. I guess we'll figure that one out. But for now, that is it for the Super Week. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for much more action here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog.
Flash, so he can't easily jump onto Raze, but out goes the Glacial Prison once again. The hope is just better range
One
in
ult out.
response. Winter, call it a forge god. Flash! And he headbutts into it. There's the pillar, but he can't find the follow-up that he needs. Yuri jumps in, instant devour. That's clutched by Rogue. Is that shield enough? He goes golden for a second. Same for Tally, who's been exhausted,
Yuri's
but
dead.
no, Yuri's dead. He's been shut down. Rusty, he's tried this move from start to finish. He got that initial kill, but it's just such an uphill climb. Oh, that is
Uh-oh.
That's just...
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, look at the damage. Primordial Burst, can they find the kill? Dojong, no!
Oh my god, he's alive.
Fido, don't tell me
He's
he
alive.
lives. He stopped for a second, cops the heal from Limas. Dojong must be feeling absolutely robbed. Again on the flank, gonna be rooted to start things off, gonna have the Dragon sent away. Now goes the Dawning Shadow right now. A battle between two junglers, and Lisa wins. It was low. An early smite there gets punished, and Lisa, as well as Gudo, now hunting for that first reset. Kisei in trouble, and Kisei goes down. In go Peace, hunting for more with a soul point they feel ever so tanky. Flashing forward aggressively. Chaeyan expends double sums and gets a double kill. A flawless game so far from the Direwolf jungler. 6-0. Looking at Bulldog right now on the
Dante.
flank. He's got the ult charmed. He's ready to jump in. Knocks up two. Dante in trouble, flashing away. Utilizing his range right now. Level 15. So packs a bit of a punch. He's on towards Pathrise, who flashes forward, busts the shot away. It wasn't enough to protect
Boyce
him.
has 3
Boyce
kills.
has found 2. Now he's found 3. He's keen to find more. Another flash away. He's on a quad. He's hunting for...
Hey, look, menu pong.
We just too good, Kitty. Come on, now we too good. Our synergy's all there, baby. High fives are around. Yeah.
Oh, can I have one? Wait, down a
Wait,
little
what?
bit. Down here. Ah, yep. Thanks, brother. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I got you.
That was great.
Execution. Look.